make a name for himself in the bantamweight rankings, Chase. You know, people may be wondering why he's not on the rankings, but hey, you have to be active to be ranked.
Yeah, it's been a long time, nearly 5 years, and this is the moment everyone's been waiting for. How does Mikey adapt to the latest and greatest in no-gi grappling?
I mean, that is the biggest question, is literally we do not know what to expect, because the Mikey of 2016 has got to be different to the Mikey of 2021. He's got to have changed, he's got to have evolved, and know what new techniques is he going to show here tonight at Who's Number One. But it's not that simple, because you got Marcelo Cohen trying to rip your arm off.
Yeah, Mikey was adamant in his interviews leading up to this event that good jiu-jitsu is good jiu-jitsu. It transforms through any sort of format, whether it's gi, no-gi, submission only, etc. And he's here to prove that tonight.
You know, I think it's significant to note as well. I mean, not only is the energy of Marcelo Cohen, you can tell there's just a little bit of venom behind those movements, a little bit of diving toe hold there, but, you know, man, I just feel like he's amped up. You can just look, there's a fire in his eyes, and he knows that going up against somebody like Mikey, of course he's going to be the underdog, but that shouldn't mean that he should go out there and not just put it all on the line.
Absolutely. You know, Marcelo definitely came into this match feeling a little bit overlooked and has something to prove. Keep an eye out for an amazing Kimura attack. He likes to dive and roll on those, as well as hunt for the legs.
And you mentioned as well, Chase, that of course a 5-time combat jiu-jitsu veteran. You know, that is, for people who aren't necessarily aware, it is basically jiu-jitsu where you're allowed to slap your opponent. Now, we saw him in action in Mexico at the Combat Jiu-Jitsu Worlds in that tournament there just very recently where, let's be honest, he slapped the crap out of his opponent, man. He likes to be nasty. And he said that. He said he wants to be physical. He said he wants to make it one of those kind of matches, you know, where you really make your opponent suffer. I kind of feel like we're seeing that now. Look at this.
Well, Mikey's no stranger to adversity. If you saw him, oh, here we go, Mikey, in on possibly a back attack. It's hard to see exactly what's going on in his hands. Maybe he's going to change to a footlock of sorts, but anyways, Mikey is well adept at taking some punishment and loves a challenge.
Yeah, going for that ankle lock control. I mean, Mikey, he used the good old-fashioned straight ankle lock to win the world title, his most recent, his third IBJJF world title, in a grand total of 12 seconds. One of the fastest recorded submissions in an IBJJF championship final. And now, using that grip to come up on top and into this leg weave position, will we see him play some top game here? Will we see him pass the guard and look to establish top position? Or do you think he's going to go for the back?
I don't know. I'm liking the action we're seeing at hand. It's really crushing Marcelo's hips. A lot of pressure from Mikey on top as he also pulls up on the head and neck, creating it difficult for Marcelo to really go anywhere. And Mikey's weighing on him at this point.
Yeah, look at that. Beautiful leg work there. Mikey stepping over to the other side now, but into almost a flow crash position. Goes back to the other direction. And the pressure, the upper body control, you can see the grip behind the neck now, going to that good old-fashioned underhook crossface. Really big pressure as he just steps over the guard into the mount. And early in the match, man, for a small guy, 135-pounder, it looks like that's some big pressure.
Yeah, Mikey has some serious technique behind his movements. Again, mount is not necessarily the most common position we see in no-gi, and Mikey transitions off now. Kind of, he's back in like a quarter guard, but he'll probably pass pretty quickly here if he should want to.
I think that's one of the biggest things to watch with Mikey Musumeci is it's not just what his upper body is doing, but what his legs are doing, because he's one of those grapplers. It's like, you know, he uses his 4 limbs simultaneously. His legs are like hands, and you can learn so much from what he does with his foot placement.
I like how he's pummeling very easily on either leg right now. I'm not quite sure what he's looking for, but he's very committed to this underhook and driving in and putting so much pressure right now on Marcelo Cohen.
Yeah, he's got his opponent stapled, just absolutely flat on the mat. Both shoulders flattened out, got that good underhook crossface. And the leg work really is key because, of course, yeah, you know, Marcelo can fight. Marcelo can try and recover guard, but he's not going anywhere. He can't frame away. He needs to make space or he needs to turn. But, of course, Mikey wants that. Mikey wants him to turn.
And this is a frustrating position to be if you're Marcelo on bottom. He hasn't been able to get really anywhere, and Mikey is just crushing him. But there's still plenty of time left. You know, we have over 10 minutes left. I want to see. Marcelo really hasn't worked too hard to bridge or move. He's just being very defensive, which I think is smart.
I think very interesting that Mikey has absolutely no problem in allowing himself to be put back into this shallow half guard, really a half guard where the legs are just trapping the ankle, because he just slips that hook right out and he's switching up from knee right to side control. It feels like he's just cooking his opponent here.
Yeah, Mike is clearly looking for a certain reaction that he hasn't found yet, but I'm wondering maybe if he's trying to transition to the back at this point, or if he's looking for maybe an arm triangle. I'm not quite sure where Mikey's looking to go, but he's definitely moving at will in and out of this quarter guard, half guard that Marcelo has.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head there. I think that he is baiting a reaction. He wants Marcelo to do something specific, and that's going to open up a big attack here, because otherwise, why hang out here and why change your leg position so much unless there's a strategy at play, right? You know, you're not scoring any points. You know, if this was IBJJF, he'd probably be up like about 30 points right now because he's passed the guard so many times. But of course, this is a submission-only rule set, no points. The judges, though, are looking at the whole match, and this, regardless of whether his foot is in the half guard or not, this is a positional control.
Right, and this actually speaks maybe to the veteran position that Marcelo holds. Is he's not getting flustered here. He knows that Mikey wants something else, and he's not giving it to him. Mikey may be forced to change tact shortly here, but we still have plenty of time. So,
well, this is a little bit different. You see Mikey going a little bit higher now, creating some elbow separation with that trapped arm. Could open up the opportunity of an arm triangle choke if he can get that arm, the elbow far enough away from the body. One of the most high percentage no-gi chokes that you can hope for. But I mean, just that pressure there, just really giving Cohen absolutely no opportunity whatsoever to bridge, to roll, to frame, to make space, or to recover any kind of guard.
Yeah, it's definitely been one-way traffic throughout this entire match here. And again, you can see Mikey's hands clasped underneath. And now he's switched to the neck. Just looks so uncomfortable is what I'm trying to convey here.
I mean, that shoulder pressure, it's huge, isn't it? You know, you can see the way that Mikey, you know, he's let up a little bit now. He's kind of cupping behind the head, but every time he puts it down, you know, you can see Marcelo's face is changing color. The pressure is so high. Originally hailing from New Jersey, of course, Mikey Musumeci is, you know, he's bounced around a lot in his career as his family have moved around. He spent his formative years in Florida training there also, and now resident in Las Vegas. One of his main training partners, of course, his sister, Tammy Musumeci. And he's been training, can you believe it, for 20 years. He started training when he was only 4 years of age. And a great story if you watch our documentary about how he used to drill his moves on a big stuffed animal. That's fantastic. Amazing start.
Yeah, I was chatting with Mikey ahead of this event, and one thing that he said was that the quarantine was very difficult. About him and Tammy just drilled nonstop throughout that period, and he said his jiu-jitsu got even better somehow.
I mean, if you want to be stuck in a house alone, then who better to be stuck with than your sister, who is a fellow black belt world champion, right? Because it's somebody you can train with absolutely every single day. And I feel that you know, this opportunity for Mikey to spend that time in the laboratory, to spend that time in the gym working on techniques that he otherwise wouldn't necessarily develop. I think that is time well spent. And here we go, mounted triangle. Mounted triangle is drops off to the side, and he gets the tap. Triangle armbar for Mikey Musumeci.
Just needs one opportunity, and it's done.
So patient. Amazing strategy there. You called it, Chase. He said he was definitely setting up. He was baiting a very specific reaction, and there it was.
Ladies and gentlemen, your winner, Mikey Musumeci.
Absolutely clinical finish there from Mikey Musumeci.